10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What is going on, Blerdverse, and welcome back to another episode for the Blurcher. My name is RJ, and as always, I'm joined with my homeboy Trey. What's going on, man?
What is going on? What is going on? Trigger Trey back at it again.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And as always, our favorite guest, our favorite Blerd, we got Cam from Blerd Up Reacts. What's going on, man?
What's up? Ready to jump into this Moon Knight, man?
And joining us for the first time ever, coming in at the 9th hour. Oh, my bad. Forgot to send a link to you, man. So charge it to my head, not my heart. Everybody, welcome D Movieman. What's going on, bro?
Hey, what's going on?
Yeah, came at the last. We got one more coming. We got Jay on the way, but we had to start. Facebook does not allow us to start past a certain amount of time late, so we just went ahead and started. And Jay will jump in when he gets here. You know, can't wait to have him join in because I know he's the comic man, and I know he's got a lot to say about what went on. Speaking of Jay, here he is. What's going on, bro? How you doing?
What it do? What it do? Doing good.
Here, Harrison Talk. Everybody, give him a follow. Links down below in the description. Shayna, what is going on? I know it's been a long time, but we're back and we're ready to get at it. Today's live is not going to be super long. As we talked about before we got on air, not a lot happened today. So we really don't have much to talk about, but we're going to scrape the bottom of the barrel and get whatever we can get out, get it out. So before we begin, just want to remind everybody, drop a like while you're in here, subscribe, all that good stuff, blah, 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 blah. I want to get everybody's overall thoughts on what they thought of the first episode of Moon Knight, the Goldfish Problem. We'll start with our guest, Cam. What's going on, man? What did you think about the first episode of Moon Knight? What's going on, Jason?
So, first episode, maybe it's just me. I'm kind of caught in the middle because I watched it twice, and both times I couldn't sit still. I kept getting up vacuuming and doing stuff like that. So, but I understand it's an establishing episode, you know, which is why I'm glad Jake is here because I don't know a lot about Moon Knight. So I'm ready for him to spill his gut to kind of clue me in and help connect the dots. That's where I'm at right now.
What about you, D? What did you think of first episode of Moon Knight?
Well, first off, it definitely flew by. I think for a second I thought it was like a 30-something minute episode. For it to be 47 minutes, it actually kind of flew by. I thought it was interesting in that it definitely opened up it definitely opened things up as far, because I'm a big mystery person, so I love when I watch something that keeps me guessing. And so already I'm kind of wanting to know what is the nature of what's happening. And I thought it was very chaotic as far as him, kind of like blacking out and then waking up and then blacking out and then waking up and, slowly kind of piecing everything together. I do love, and I love how it ended though. I love finally seeing boom, this is him. Yeah. And we're out. Yeah. So I understand it's frustrating because we didn't get a lot as far as the specifics of story, but I still thought it was a cool way to kind of pull us into the world so far.
Cool. Trey, what'd you think, bro?
I like the first episode. I do like that there's a little bit of mystery to it, because from what I do know about Moon Knight, which is not a whole lot, Steven is not the main consciousness. So I feel like this first episode is the intro for Steven into Moon Knight as well. So we're kind of going on the journey with him. So I thought that was kind of cool when I kind of thought about it that way. But I wish I saw a little bit more Moon Knight than just the last minute, last 30 seconds.
Yeah. Comic book man, Hero Harrison, what's going on, man? What did you think of episode 1 of Moon Knight, the Goldfish Problem? What's your thoughts, man?
I'm gonna keep it simple right now, because I know we got a lot of things to talk about. But great way to start the MCU for this new show. No complaints.
Yeah. I feel like the general consensus around the first episode, from what I'm gathering, is we didn't hate it, but it wasn't anything that was keep you on the edge of your seat. It did create more questions, which that was kind of like the theme of Loki. Give you an answer, leave you with 20 questions. And I think not. I don't think necessarily that that's a bad thing, because you have to think the other Disney Plus shows had a head start in a whole cinematic universe that was built before we were introduced to their solo shows. So I think for Moon Knight, I keep want to say Moonlight. For Moon Knight, it's more of I guess let's just kind of seeing him through like virgin eyes, for lack of a better word, because a lot of us aren't familiar with him. And I think that this is what Marvel has to do at this point, because they've literally wrung the characters dry, the ones that we've already seen. There's nothing left. Honestly, let's be real, like they've done, I mean, don't get me wrong, there's a lot of stories they can't tell, but as far as like superhero fatigue and those hero fatigues, I think they've milked those dry. And I feel like now they have to kind of start plucking and getting different characters, and this is what we're seeing, and this is why we're seeing Moon Knight. But overall, my thoughts on the first episode. What's going on, Gerald? My thoughts on the first episode was that I enjoyed it. It was a good setup, but I need to see more in order to like it. I don't know if you guys follow Fantastic Frankie. She was kind of going through it, in her comment section when people were dragging her for saying that it was mid, and I kind of agree. I mean, but mid is not always a bad thing. Mid is mid.
Not good, not bad.
Yeah,
it's fine with me. It's mid.
Well, the thing is, it's just with an episode like this, there's just not much to say about it, and that's good and bad, because it's a setup. Because a lot of people don't know who Moon Knight is. A lot of people don't know about who the real Moon Knight is. All these personalities and stuff, which I'm sure we'll get into. But still, again, this is for what it is. It started off good. It's just solid. But I mean, when we start getting deeper into the story, that's when things will start being like,
Yeah.
So.
And that's a good thing to take into consideration, because this is the first show that's been created around a character that we haven't seen in live action before.
Yeah.
So there's versus the other shows we had back history, so they could jump in full force. This one, they got to bring us up to speed. So here you say that, okay, I'm better. I'm better.
Oh, you was about to be on Moon Knight's neck.
I got some stuff to say about Moon Knight.
Man, I don't know. I also, to me too, I really like the fact that we kind of are seeing and experiencing what he's going through his eyes. And I feel like I've seen on TikTok a lot of people were saying that they were confused, and I feel like that was intentional. We're meant to be confused. We don't know this character yet. So what do you guys think about that perspective? I'll start with D. What do you guys think about seeing things from that perspective?
I think it makes things it kind of definitely heightens the tension and kind of the precariousness of the situation, because this character, especially the whole sense of like when he went on the date and he realized it was 2 days after the fact, and the fact that he has this sense of time and this sense of like everything is chaotic, everything is confusing. He keeps waking up, and then there's like a different something going on, or time has been altered in some way. So to me, it definitely heightens things, and then his helplessness, and that no one else understands what's going on with him.
Yeah.
And there are some moments here where it kind of gets a little horror-ish, like that. I have this thing about elevators opening into dark hallways. That's always creeped me out since I was young.
Yeah.
And so that scene where it keeps opening on the same floor, and then he sees the being walking towards him. Yeah, I kind of felt bad for him, but it seems like he's not in the best situation.
Definitely not in the best headspace. What do you think, Cam, about seeing it through this perspective?
I think that was a good thing to do, because again, they're introducing us to him, and it's allow you to kind of put yourself into the situation. Mm-hmm. So not for nothing, funny story. Yeah, I lived like that for maybe about 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. Trying to quit smoking, I took some Chantix and was sleepwalking my ass off.
No.
So that was familiar, and that's part of why I was like, oh, not that again. I don't want nothing. I don't want to see anything about that. But I mean, it made you uneasy. It made you uncomfortable. When he woke up and his jaw was completely brown, I was like,
oh my gosh.
What do you do in that situation? You wake up somewhere you don't remember getting there, and your jaw is off the hinges. Like, so.
Yeah. What about you, Jay?
You know me. I think that what Marvel has done with WandaVision, Falcon, these other shows, Hawkeye, all these shows are different categories in each just movie section. So we got Wanda, that's more of like the adventure. We got Falcon Winter Soldier, that's more the action side. You know, and then we get the drama side now. So what Marvel's doing right now is this is smart because we got Doctor Strange coming out next month. So this is kind of setting the tone for like that dark universe for Marvel. Yeah. And I think this is the very first show that's going to deliver that horror aspect to it going forward in the MCU, because we're going to see more stuff with like, you know, darkness when it comes to WandaVision and the Hex and all this other crazy multiverse stuff.
Yeah. Trey, what do you think about like seeing this through, you know, his perspective instead of just, you know, another way of being introduced? What do you think about it?
I thought that it was really cool because, you know, like I was saying before, this is probably an introduction for a lot of other people to Moon Knight, and it seemed like they wanted it to be Steven's introduction to it as well. So we're learning with him, like who he really is, and I like the way that they kind of cut in and out of his consciousness, only to just bring it back to his consciousness in a totally different place. Like y'all were saying, when he woke up and his jaw was dislocated, like I don't know what I would do. I'd probably try to look for my phone, call somebody.
Hold on.
Who last night? Damn, how many
first thing you think about your phone? Dog, I'm not even gonna worry about my phone. I'm trying to put my jaw back in place.
Like, I see that's me. I'm scared. I don't know what I'm doing. If I try to crack my jaw back in place, maybe I'm doing something wrong. Listen, I tried to crack my back watching a TikTok, and I thought I broke that shit. So I'm not trying to crack my jaw back in place.
Trey, I'm gonna tell you right now, you ain't got nothing to prove.
That's why I'm on the phone, like. Somebody please. But I liked it. I liked it altogether, the perspective that they put him through, and I hope that they kind of do it more with the other personalities. Like the episodes are focused on them, and then they jump through their consciousness as certain things. I think that would be a cool aspect for them to keep going.
Gerald says the idea of unreliable narrator is cool because it drives the mystery of the story being told. I completely agree with that. It definitely makes me a little more curious. I just hope that we don't get Groundhog Day where we have to see the same thing happen over and over with the different personality. And it's like, I listen, I despise Groundhog Day episodes. There's not a single series in existence that has done a Groundhog Day episode where I liked it. So I hope we don't get it. So I hope we get. I can't take it. I hate Groundhog.
Not even the Buffy one with the mummies.
Not even Buffy Vampire Slayer.
Man.
No, I hate watching the same thing over and over. Like I don't care how many times you show me this through a different perspective, where you change that's minuscule. I don't want to see it. Like one and done, man. Move on.
So what you're saying is that's your version of hell, Groundhog Day.
Yeah, Groundhog Day is hell for me. Like when I'm watching a show and a Groundhog Day episode comes on, I immediately become disinterested. Like how you were vacuuming trying to watch the show, I'm about to go read a book. Like I can't. Harry Potter, Chamber of Secrets. Come on, let's go. Can't do it. But
what about a movie that's Groundhog's Day theme?
I did like Happy Death Day.
Yeah, so
there you go. There you go.
Okay, one.
Edge of Tomorrow is another one. I feel
that's a good one too.
That was a good one.
You didn't like Edge of Tomorrow?
I liked it. That was good.
Okay.
Yeah, that was good.
RJ, did you like Edge of Tomorrow?
I don't think I've seen that.
Oh, okay. I think you might enjoy it. I love it.
I might check it out. I don't know if it doesn't make me miserable. I might. I don't want to do it. So hopefully that we never see the Moon Knight because I ain't with it. But speaking of mystery, so one thing that I love is ancient deities, ancient powers, things that are so old they can't be explained. And you, Jay and Trey, you guys know that when we were doing the Silver Side comic book, that was one of the things that kind of powered our planet was an ancient power. Long story. We put a lot of detail in the world building, but I absolutely love that. So I'm not familiar with Moon Knight. So I don't know. So is his power based off of like an ancient Egyptian scarab or what's going on? Explain this to me.
So what's going on? Well, a lot of people don't know. Like, I mean, I'm gonna be honest too. Like, I'm not like a Moon Knight fan. I mean, I know about him. I know his origin and all that.
Yeah.
I know more about the ancient Egyptian aspect. But with Moon Knight, so he gets his powers from Khonshu, which we saw as he was explaining in the elevator scene, how elevators are kind of creepy, right? Yeah, I mean, that would creep me out too a little bit. he gets his powers from Khonshu, but the thing is, Khonshu is based as like a god, who's a bird.
Ancient Egyptian moon god.
Exactly. And so he's very, very powerful. And a lot of people don't know this too, that I think this is going to connect to Black Panther as well, because Bast, how they talked about that in Black Panther, is actually like the relative cousin of Khonshu. So the reason I say that is because this ancient Egyptian stuff they're tagging on right now is very interesting, because Khonshu is trying to take over all his personalities and like enforce that power within him so he can do whatever he wants with it. So it's like he's trying to take away all different personalities from Mark Spector, make him one like so powerful, and then take his power away.
Mm-hmm.
So there's so much that goes into it. So much.
I think this piqued my interest. That piqued my interest a little more now.
Yeah, and there's more. We'll talk about it more, because there's so much that goes with his powers in terms of control, and like how the deities have been set there for so long, and like how this ancient Egyptian power has been held, and who has grasped onto that,
And then there's also the aspect of his different personalities. They're different superheroes as well. Like, they're still Moon Knight, but they're different people. There's one, he's like straight up detective. I don't remember his name at the moment, but he's like a straight up detective. And that's why, he's very comparable to Batman in that aspect as well.
Mr. Knight? Is that who that is?
I think so.
Well, yeah, I mean, Mr. Knight is, him, but it's just like, it's so confusing, because Mark Spector is seen as the main, like, personality.
Dominant personality.
Then you have Steve, who we see in this show. Yeah, and they didn't explain it, I don't think, but Steve in comics is a cab driver. So
isn't he? I thought he was like a billionaire.
That's the other guy. That's the other guy. He's a billionaire. There's a guy who he has a personality where he's a chef. This is like 80 personalities he has, and he's they're breaking all of them down.
How many jobs this man got?
But
I live my own life. Damn.
Multi-talented.
The two important ones, I would say, though, the ones that we're looking at is Mark and Steve, because the cab driver, he has a very important story that drives the story. No pun intended, but
Slap her knee, y'all. That was a knee slapper.
That was a dad joke. Uncle jokes. We telling uncle jokes.
Uncle jokes. That's you. I'm kidding, Trey. I'm an uncle too, so it's all good. But yeah, there's so much that goes into Moon Knight. It's just with his powers and Khonshu, how he's been the control, the guy that has been in control for so long, how it ties into his powers and all that. So
and I think I'm going to do more research on it, because, like I said, not enough happened in this episode to kind of really have an in-depth live, because our lives normally last like a good hour. But I found myself running out of things to say because nothing happened.
You saw it. You saw it.
That's exactly what it is, because it's not enough to say. I mean, we can talk
not
about
enough to say. But I had already made the flyers, and I already put out the graphics, and it was like, it's too late now to cancel it. I already done fucked up the time and asked y'all to, come early because I got to cover WrestleMania, and then nothing happened. So I'm like, when I realized the episode was about nothing, I'm like, well, damn, I don't have everybody move their schedule up, and then there's nothing to talk about. So yeah, I kind of feel so. My bad, guys. Sorry about that.
Actually, a question for everybody. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you got. I think we're on the same. Go ahead.
Okay, we might be. Well, so with the jackals at the end, a lot of people thought that was like the whole Werewolf by Night thing, but I know that Marvel now, they're not naming their Halloween special Werewolf by Night. It's gonna be called something else. But like, regardless of that, I just want to know what you guys think of this horror aspect. Do you think that we are gonna start seeing cameos in this show? And I want to ask each one of you individually, if we saw a cameo, who do you think, as we know in MCU right now, could possibly show up in this show? I personally think we could be two people. I think Blade could show up.
Yeah,
that's a possibility.
That would be really cool.
And I mean, I don't know, but what do you guys think? Trey?
So I don't think this is gonna happen, but I want it to happen just because I read this comic book. I don't specifically remember what happens, but Thor throws his hammer at Moon Knight, and Moon Knight basically just like stops it, immediately controls that thing, and handles it better than Thor does. So I'd really like for that to happen, because that would be really dope, and everyone would be like, "Oh my god, this is kind of crazy."
That would be
So that-
unexpected. I like the unexpectedness of that. Yeah.
Mhm.
What about you, Cam? What you think?
I honestly don't know with this one. This is again, this is new ground. Normally I'm in it and I'm seeing stuff and I'm piecing it together, trying to predict it. This one's gonna take me a while. I would think that the tie-in would be Doctor Strange. So we're either gonna see Doctor Strange or Wanda, somebody from that in this, or we're gonna see him in the upcoming movie. So that's where I said. Or I mean, there's the obvious Mephisto.
You never know, man. You just never know.
He's coming.
I was going to say Dane from Eternals because of the way they teased his whole night experience. Then I just could see that tie, like it would be the perfect tie-in. And then potentially because we know that Blade spoke at the end, at that teaser at the end of Eternals, that those two may come together also.
And I think you brought up a really good point, because Black Knight and Blade and Moon Knight all have that exact same history, you know, that's tied to either Egyptian or just that old like AD storytelling aspect. And I think that might be a possibility. If Black Knight shows up, I mean, it wouldn't be like, oh my God, but I mean, unless he show up in his armor or something, that might be kind of cool. But I don't think that might happen unless they do like a story that they tell in the show, just like 5 seconds, you know, origin. But what you think, RJ? Who do you think is going to show up, man? Like,
I know you guys have said like superpower people, but I don't know who, but I feel like whoever shows up, I want it to be somebody like without power, somebody like that's like a regular person, you know, that's in the MCU. Yeah, like someone I don't know. I don't want it to be another hero, because I feel like I don't know anything about Moon Knight, and I don't really want to be distracted. I feel like I would love for him to go to try to do research, and maybe somebody smart that has a grasp on ancient powers. Maybe Wong, you know, maybe somebody like, well, he has powers. You know what I mean? Somebody who's not a major player. Like
Wong
maybe
and everything.
Searching for answers, and hopefully there's no danger, so Wong doesn't leave. You know, something like that.
I kind of agree with that, because, you know, you don't want to take away the magic from what this character is, because people are figuring him out right now, right? And if we threw in like a whoever, you know, just like a Thor or something, I mean, I don't think it would take away the magic, but it's still not. It's not what it's about, right? You know, it's about Moon Knight and these darker stories that they're trying to tell. But I mean, if Marvel, this is my other thing I was thinking of. If Marvel decides to go this route, because, you know, I'm hearing rumors of, you know, we're not going to get another Avengers film, which I think is a damn lie. They're saying they're trying to focus on other stories, which you can still do, but you have to do another Avengers film. But I think we're going to eventually see the Midnight Suns. So maybe if Marvel decides to throw in Punisher,
they got the game coming out.
So, I mean, you know, I think that at this point we can do those darker stories, you know, and we got Doctor Strange in the universe with this multiverse stuff. So,
well, you know, they could potentially do that too, because aren't they redoing Daredevil again with the same actor? So they could bring back Punisher in the same context and just make his story canon anyways.
They'd be stupid not to. But I think with Doctor Strange, it just kind of opens the door for so many possibilities. And even with this character, multiple personalities, multiple universes, we don't know.
We don't know
this part of the phase, we really don't know where we're going at this point until we see it. So
yeah, and I think, like you said, Ken, I think that these shows are not just focusing on cameos. It's really about like putting together something that's going to be huge, like the next big bad, of course, but it's another side of the story, is something we're missing. But I just want to see Cam in the role of Luke Cage. If Cam's going to be in the MCU, I want Cam to play the role of Luke Cage.
As long as not Mike Coulter.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. I want Marvel to cast Cam in the role.
Recast.
I'm Falcon, Winter Soldier, Captain America. That's my clique right there. You know my boys.
If I ever see Mike Coulter, ooh.
Is it because you don't like his acting, or do you not like his face?
Acting and face. Forever see Mike Coulter.
So we got Groundhog's Day, Mike Coulter, and kids. For your version of hell. Let's throw the damn twins in. Let's get them in there.
Yeah, hey Cam, don't talk about no kids now.
Them kids.
but no, I mean, I think Moon Knight is just with this whole multiverse stuff is going to set up so much. I don't know if they're going to do a season 2, but I hope he sticks around in the Avengers, that they do another film. I just hope he just doesn't disappear. So.
And Shada said, as long as Iron Fist and Luke Cage ain't there,
please. Iron Fist.
Iron Fist where he's at. Let him stay on there. Y'all could have left that on Netflix.
I ain't even watch it. I was like, I couldn't finish it.
I tried.
Oh, really? No, I respect that. I see why y'all say it. Because, I mean, it's just some TV shows. That's how I feel about CW. You know, I'm just like, I'm ready to show out of this. Come on.
Yeah, Riverdale just got, I don't even want to talk about it.
Is Sabrina there yet?
Yeah, she came and did something. There's magic there now. Now the Archie and they have powers, and it's a lot happened. a lot happened, and now I don't want to. I'm ashamed to even say that I've ever even watched the show. Like it's I get secondhand embarrassment, like knowing that people know that I've watched Riverdale. Like it's embarrassing. And if you ever look at interviews of the cast, like they all look annoyed, like that they're even on the show.
That sounds about right.
They all look annoyed. Like why am I on the show? I wonder about Black Panther cameo. They serve the Panther goddess, Basset Moon Knight, serve Egyptian moon god. I don't know how to pronounce that. Those two gods are cousins.
Yeah. As I was saying,
earlier,
and I want them to talk about stuff like that.
No, Shayna, I don't.
Now,
I stopped after the baby started floating in season 2 or 3. I was like, no, I'm good.
Did you just say baby start floating?
Yeah, it was a cult or something. Like they had the baby over the fire and it was floating, and I was like, I can't do this. I said, I can't. I thought this was supposed to be a mystery show, and now there's a baby floating over the fire. I can't do it. I can't. I couldn't.
It sounds like the devil to me.
Yeah,
Mephisto? Is he making an appearance?
Not on my Christian TV.
It's Mephisto. He's making an appearance.
Trey and everyone else in here, I actually have a question for everyone, because at the end of this episode, we see him finally in his suit, which I think is dope. And here's the interesting thing about Moon Knight too, a lot of people don't know, is that Moon Knight, anytime that there's a full moon, his powers become, his powers increase. But when there's a half moon, then his powers become double. And then there's I think it's a crescent moon or something like that. I forgot which kind of moon it was. It becomes triple. So it's like his powers increase every time the moon changes into different forms. So which is really interesting. But for our guests first, so Cam, what did y'all think about the suit overall? I mean, just even from looking at, like, if you saw him in the comic or just wherever you've seen Moon Knight, what do you think about the whole suit?
I like the suit. It's dope. I mean, it's just it's you look at it and you're just kind of like trying to deconstruct it. Like, all right, well, I'm looking at it, trying to deconstruct it, figuring out how can I make that, So it's like, it's dope. It's dope. I can't lie on it. It's dope. It looks pretty good. So
yeah,
and comic book accurate. So
very
double
very. What do you think? For another guest, what you think about the suit and that kid? The Moon Knight premiere wearing that suit. I don't know if you guys saw that. It was just so accurate. It was on like Instagram and IG and stuff. And,
okay. I loved it. And see, I had purposely avoided seeing, because I felt like the pictures and everything, like everything gets leaked nowadays, and you see stuff way ahead of when you intend to. So I purposely kind of avoided, and I wanted just to kind of see it as is. So when it came at the end, I was like, okay, even though, like we said, it was only a minute. But I remember finding out about Moon Knight like some years ago, and how there might be a potential project with him that was going to happen. That was like some years back. And when I looked it up and I saw his appearance and everything, I remember Moon Knight and Mysterio. Those are the two characters I was most interested in seeing, like in MCU or in a project, because I love characters that are mystical or odd or strange, or that they're not like typical as far as their powers and things like that. So seeing him now, even though we only got a brief glimpse, like I'm already into it, and I'm already a huge fan of like ancient Egypt The Mummy is like one of my favorite like action adventure films, and part of it is because of that context of ancient Egypt and the mythology, and I love all of it. So I hopefully we can delve deeper into the kind of the backstory or the origins of that. I'll really I think that will help me appreciate it because I'm already here for that station.
Hey man, if you like weird creatures and weird stuff, then you're gonna love Doctor Strange. So you got to be in for a ride, man. Trey, what you think, man? What you think about this suit overall?
I really like the suit. Like y'all were saying, comic book accurate. You know, just like the old saying, the freaks come out at night. I'm gonna add to that, Moon Knight does too. And I thought it was cool. You know, I didn't know that about the crescent moon. He becomes more powerful. I think that is really cool too. It adds an interesting effect to his powers and kind of makes it more. Like, I mean, I know it's superheroes and stuff, but it makes it more believable. Like he has like a whole lore backstory to it, and just makes it cool. And I thought the suit was really dope. It was really, he looked like a mummy to me.
I thought
like a Batman mummy.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait to. I don't know if you guys saw the trailer for the second episode. He has, you know, his weapons on his chest. He took off the crescent moon blades. Those things are pretty cool. So, but what you think, RJ, about the whole suit?
I like the suit. I wasn't sure if it was like CGI, whether it was just like a really crisp looking suit. I don't know. I didn't care enough to like look in detail. Because I was like the episode was kind of mid, so I was like, yeah.
It's like silk toilet paper.
Yeah. From Party City. Like what's his name? John's Van Shield. No, but I like the suit. Like I said, I only really looked at it, you know, from that quick glimpse. But I think it's dope. I love the fact that it does. I don't know. It just looks really, really. I don't want to say sleek, but it looks clean. Crisp. It's a clean ass crisp, you know, suit. I definitely I love the hood. I love the crescent in the forehead. Definitely original. I love Moon Knight's original design. I love it. I love it. I think it's a great costume. It's really well done. And I'm glad to see that they didn't kind of stray away from it, because a lot of times comic book suits don't translate well to live action, or they don't know how to translate them well to live action. But I think they did a great job with this suit. So yeah. So I don't know, guys. What are you hoping to see in the next episode going forward, Jay?
I hope to see more fights, more of his suit, more of his powers being used. And honestly, this is something I want to talk about too, just real quick, was I want to see Moon Knight go there, because I know a lot of people, and not because you said it, Cam, I heard other people say they compare him to Batman, but Batman doesn't kill. Moon Knight kills. And I think that we might see him like bash somebody's head open or something. Or
you know, Batman really be killing them people.
Who said that?
Hey, but I mean, Trey, you do have a point, because I'm like, you just beat this dude's face in, and he's crippled. You can't even get up.
Like,
you might as well
kill people like
dead. Just killed him. Like, come on. He's paralyzed from the ears up now. Like, what do you
he may not have killed them, but they died from their injuries.
That's a good point.
I never thought about it that way.
Later on, it's like a ruptured spleen or something like that.
It's like, but Batman, you threw him off of a roof. Like, what did you think was going to happen? I don't kill.
He was going to fall asleep. Well,
so was he supposed to land on his feet? I don't understand what you think was going to happen. Did he have a batarang? Did he have what do you mean? He had a grappling hook? No, he didn't. You dropped it from a roof.
Yeah. So but I just want to see Moon Knight go there in the next episode and just start beating people up, and I just want to see some bloodiness and darkness. So
yeah. D, what do you want to see going forward?
I want to learn more about Arthur, Ethan Hawke's character. I want to know like how he factors into all this, why he wants that scarab so bad, and then I don't know if we'll see. I think is it Amit or Amit?
Armanet.
Amit, yeah.
Armanet, yeah.
I want to see more as far as like his representation of her, or his alignment to her, and this whole judgment thing with the tattoo and all of that. Like, that was immediately intriguing to me, and how immediately when he walked through, the village, how everyone was like, oh, like he's kind of like this revered figure. I want to know more about how he factors in and like how that whole piece plays out. Another thing I was going to say earlier about the suit, I like that in contrast to all the color that we get with a lot of the superheroes, that this is just kind of like not saturated at all. It's just like very kind of like white, grayish, kind of like, this completely like clean kind of color and vibe. So yeah,
that's a good point. I like that too.
Yeah. Kim?
I'm actually not sure yet, to be completely honest. I'll know it when I say I think the fight scenes were really cool, and then exploring the multiple personality thing. And the quote that, who was it? Was it Gerald? Or I think it was Gerald that said that he has to give up control. They can't take it. I want to see more of that possibly happening with some of the alters. That's kind of, I know you don't want to see it, RJ, but I kind of like to see, well, what happened on some of them days where you were blacked out? Like, who had control and what were they doing? So I'd like to see some of that, but that means
like, I'm fine with it being a couple of lines of dialogue. Like, y'all can tell us what happened. Like, I'm fine.
I see what you mean though, Cam.
If they do it, make it spectacular, make it a pivotal something.
Yeah, like
that
I don't want to
the
see
whole
like
story.
going to buy bread or some shit. Like, I need to see like make it worth it. But I'm good with dialogue. Matter of fact, put it online. Like, just let us go read it.
It has to go somewhere. That's the thing. So I mean, I see what you mean. You can't just be like, one of those movies like a party movie, when someone wakes up like, oh, we got so drunk last night, bro. Like, no, it can't be like that. Like, no.
I don't want to hangover. Yeah.
Like, how did he get the scarab? Like,
well,
did I miss that? Did I miss that?
No, you had it. That's why I went back and watched it, and I was like, no, didn't miss nothing. I think we're meant to be confused. That's why I wanted to know, like, what the hell was going on.
And that's what it is. I think that's why I'm like, I'll know it when I see it, because there's so many things that I do know about it, but none of them connect at this point. Like, wasn't he a Marine or something also? So there's all these things that are just floating in the air that it's there, but when I'm watching it, I'm like, I don't know what to think yet. So I'm going to stand by that. I'll know it when I see it.
They gave us a lot and nothing at the same time.
Yeah, which is great. And I think that, again, by the end of this episode, that I think he'll break all his personalities and then become Mr. Knight and finally find that one personality. But again, like, I think with the Scarab, I think that when we were like, how they're transferring to different personalities, I think that maybe when he transferred to another personality, that in that whole time we just didn't see it, he may have been getting the Scarab or something like that. I don't know.
Gerald. I'm gonna get to you, Trey, too, but
that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, like seeing Kate Bishop. Yeah, I don't want to see that either. Like, they could have just told us. Like, she could have just been like, yeah, when I saw you in Battle of New York, and then that would have been fine for me. That would have sufficed. Didn't need to see the monster falling again from the sky. I've seen the Avengers movie several times. I didn't need to see the shot again from another angle. But thanks for that, Hawkeye. We didn't cover that show, thank goodness, because I had a lot of shit to say about that. I fucking hated that.
I liked Hawkeye, man. I thought it was pretty good.
I liked the last episode, and I think it was more so relief than me liking the episode that I didn't have to watch it no more. I didn't like it. It was definitely bottom tier. Like, I didn't like it. I tried.
Y'all got our opinions, man.
Yeah. Like, when I tell you, I literally put my phone down and did my work at work instead of watching it. Like, that's how much I didn't want to watch it.
That says a lot.
Like, I didn't want to watch it. But
one last thing. I thought it was hilarious when I heard because I didn't realize it was Egyptian at the time, but it was hilarious hearing the song that was sampled in Jay-Z's Big Pimpin'.
Yeah.
I was like, hold on. I was like, what? Marvel?
Ear, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that was interesting. Marvel's doing, I mean, they have great soundtracks, but I think that now, they're kind of testing it and playing with other songs, because they have like that symphony harmony kind of thing. Now they're like tagging into more tracks and stuff, besides Black Panther and stuff.
Yeah.
So
I think when we get the best soundtracks, they're always attached to the people of color.
I'm sorry, bro. I love my sister, y'all. She still represents.
Taking them for steak and shit.
Wait, and not showing up.
Hey, Mark is a player. He got girls calling him too.
Yeah.
Shoot.
I bet
Hey,
you
you're-
taking date though. I bet
Trey, you and Mark, you would do it too.
Yeah. But I don't know. There's a lot of questions that need to be answered, and I think. Trey, yeah. What do you think? What do you want to see going forward?
Oh, I want to see Mark pick up Mjolnir, whirl it around, toss it around. I want to see him throw it at Mephisto. And all the while Mr. Fantastic is watching with Professor Xavier in the observatorium. That's really what I want to see. That's what I don't even have to see it. They can just talk about it happening in the show, and I'll be fine with that too. But no, for real, I really want to see more of just the lore behind it. I want to know more about Moon Knight. I want them to explain his powers. How many personalities does he have? Does it rival Legion's amount of personalities? Because that boy got a lot. I just want to know all of it. He's an interesting character. He has a lot of depth, and he can get really dark. So,
yeah,
it'd be really cool.
Same. I think for me, what I want to see going forward, and you made a good point, Trey, is the lore, because I feel like the lore is what holds everyone on this panel's questions. The lore is going to explain everything that we're curious about, and I think they did a good job setting it up through the perspective of a confused individual who has multiple personalities. And I feel like that was a completely different way to start off a show, to bring the audience in from that perspective. So I do want to learn with him as we learn what's going on. The lore is really the key to everything. Overall, I don't know. I can't really judge the show on a scale. I was going to say judge the episode on a scale of A through F, but I don't really feel like that's fair right now, because I feel like we can judge it once we get to the season finale and then go from there. Because I feel like this was a setup episode, and it's not really fair to kind of, to do that. So I don't know. I definitely had to really focus and make myself watch it, but overall, I didn't despise the episode. So does anybody else have any final thoughts of what they, want to talk about with I'm about to say Hawkeye, damn it. Moon Knight.
It seems like Hawkeye's on your mind now.
It's absolutely not. And WrestleMania is about to be on my mind in a couple minutes.
I ain't got nothing.
No,
I don't
have anything else to say. Anybody else thank you guys in the comments, y'all. AK Watch coming in at the very end. What's going on? We got to have you back on the show as well. You guys are very active in the comments tonight. You guys had some good points and some really knowledgeable individuals in the comment section. So make sure you come back next week and drop some more knowledge. Learn with us as we learn more about Moon Knight. I know we're probably going to get off and do our own research, but I see you guys had some dope comments tonight. We had a great discussion and I really enjoyed it. But before we get out of here, D, where can we find you at, man?
Yes, you can find me on YouTube at capital D dot capital MOVIEMAN. You can also find me on Instagram. It's just no caps, D Movieman. And on Twitter, it's Movieman, capital D Man.
Cool. Cam, representing Blerd Up, where can we find you at, man?
At Blerd Up Reacts on all platforms, and just come by and see us. Me and RJ are reacting to Peacemaker. That shit's
hilarious.
Got us all over the place. It's a fun time, so y'all need to get on that.
Yeah. And Trey, where can we find you at, bro?
You can find me across the board. The Fly Spider guy. I know I changed the handle. I changed it. I'm sorry, y'all. But Instagram, TikTok, Twitch. Give me at the Fly Spider guy and check out my t-shirt shop, y'all. TriggerTradeTees.com, and that's trigger with an A, not an ER, because I'm with the culture.
And you can find us across all social media platforms at For the Blerd Tree. Make sure you follow Silver Site Network on all social media platforms at the Silver Site. Twitter is going to be at the Silver Site with an underscore on the end. You can follow me across most social media platforms at the Avatar RAJ. With that being said, thank you guys so much. What?
Forgot about Jay.
No, did I? Oh shit. Jay, where can we find you at, brother, man?
You know me, man. You know, here's talk. I would have advertised anyway. So it's all good. Nah, it's all good. You know me, Hero Harrison Talk on, Hero Harrison Vintage on Instagram, because other account got hacked. Sucks. TikTok, Hero Harrison Talk, and then Twitch, same thing, Hero Harrison Talk, and YouTube, Hero Harrison Talk.
We also live on the Hero Harrison Talk YouTube right now. Also, we do have something else to celebrate. I believe somebody on here just hit a certain follower count on TikTok, and we need to celebrate that. Your hard work, your TikToks, your consistent posting have gotten you to levels that I definitely feel you've earned, and we're proud of you for constantly making your brand, putting yourself out there. And everybody, go ahead and make sure you follow him all across all social media platforms. He's doing his thing. Breaking news, comic book knowledge, comic book discussions, debates, Twitch. Like when I tell you this man is everywhere on social media, he is everywhere. So please give Jay, aka Hero Harrison, a follow. Trust me, he is definitely worth your time. I use him to keep myself in the loop, even though I'm supposed to be the one on Silver Site making sure that I know movie shit. I get my news from Jay. So make sure you get that man a follow. Yeah. Once again, finally, now that I've gotten everybody in the room, thank you guys so much for tuning in. It's been a great show. Can't wait to have you guys back next week. Check for the date and time because I know we have some schedule changes and some conflicts going on, but we will be back one day next week. So make sure you're following us on all social media platforms so you stay up to date. Make sure you hit subscribe, tap that notification bell so you do not miss out on all of our up-to-date content. With that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And remember, Blerd is bond.
Blerd is
bond. See y'all next week.
See ya.
Peace.